The reign of weakness has now passed. The time for being passive, it's over. You can still be passive, don't get me wrong. You can still let life happen to you. You can still ride the waves of the greatest narratives out there. But I can tell you right now that it is not going to serve you. It's not going to serve you and is going to do actually the opposite. It will be to your detriment. Being a long-suffering person is something that the Bible talks about. And long-suffering is interesting because it's a phrase that I feel like is commonly understood to be tolerant and to be passive. But I don't believe that that is actually what it means. Long-suffering, actually, the definition, and this is my summary of it, so whatever. The definition of long-suffering is to endure hardships with composure. That's long-suffering. For example, a man like my husband, who works constantly so hard, endlessly, he's a hard worker, he has been his whole life, never takes out the stresses of work on me directly, doesn't punch holes in the walls when he's exhausted and irritated and just needs a break. It's composure, and women, we have long suffering towards children because we're mothers, we're nurturers. I mean, I'm not a mother, but we are nurturers by nature, and we do raise the children, and there's a reason that we have certain natures about us that are used for things such as that. And getting up 600 million times in the night to take care of a newborn or a young child, just the endless self-sacrificing that it takes to actually properly raise a human from scratch, that's also long suffering. Composure, though. Composure is a big part of what that means. It's patience, it's endurance, but it's composure. And a lot of believers for so long have been very tolerant and very passive when it comes to the state that our world is in, the state our country is in, the narratives on the media that are brainwashing our youth. And it's time to stop allowing it without any pushback. The last few days have been very monumental in my life, and I've had a lot of conversations with people who think very differently than me. I've sat down with them, and I felt a feeling when they were telling me ideologies that I disagreed with. Let's say on the matter of abortion, right? That's a serious topic. That's a big topic. That's a divisive topic, no? And so that's what we were talking about. We had a clear disagreement, but I made myself have the exercise of sitting down, listening to this person, comprehending what they're saying, not just waiting for my turn to talk, and realizing that a lot of people have really good points or justifications as far as they can for believing what they do about anything. And so what will happen is, even though I do pride myself, I guess, in being somebody who studies and learns and obtains knowledge in my life, like that's something that is important to me to constantly be doing. My poor, close inner friends and family circle, they hear me yap a lot about a lot of things that I learned because I process things best when I get to talk about what I learned and then I remember it. But they're not actually poor, they're very lucky, blessed. I love them. Sitting with that person or those people and hearing the disagreements made me uncomfortable. It made me uncomfortable because it's like I could see where people justify their belief systems in a lot of ways. But the thing is, overarching, what I think is important, even if you are somebody who is not a believer in Jesus Christ, you're not, but you are someone who you tend to have moral principles and standards that naturally align also with relatively like Christian values. I'm not talking about like the self-righteous type or the pious, overly pious type, the performance type of Christians either, but you just believe with general points like love thy neighbor, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of good stuff in there, guys. But if you find yourself to relatively believe in those kind of principles, you lean more, I would say, moderate to conservative when it comes to your politics, let's say, I think that it's very important for us to sit, absorb and listen to information that contradicts what you are determined to believe about things is uncomfortable. But if you cannot do that, then you cannot really say that you have knowledge or understanding, can you? I mean, yeah, but at the same time, if you don't test it, how can you depend upon your beliefs? How can you depend upon your principles and your morals to keep you on a pathway to goodness, to overarching good for the world, for yourself, if you can't even defend your beliefs, you know? And you can't learn to defend your beliefs until you first learn how to hear and listen and process other people's beliefs when they're making good points. That's actually very important, and it is not as easy as it might seem. If you're not somebody who likes confrontation, I understand if you haven't really had these kind of debates with people. But Charlie Kirk just so happened to be somebody who did that all the time with other adults, not minors, not little children like the media tries to sway us to believe, like, oh, Charlie Kirk's such a little man-child that he would go and debate kids younger than him that are stupid just so he could feel smart. No, he went to college campuses where there are adults, voters, people who have a hand in making decisions for our country and our states. He talked to them about their ideas, and he let them freely speak to him. He let them. And through that, he gained consciousness, a higher consciousness and an understanding of these people. You have to understand where they're coming from if you want to help. You cannot help somebody if you won't listen. This is why we're against controlling free speech. We believe in free speech as a nation, because if you don't have free speech, it is the most divisive possible scenario you could possibly think about. We don't even know what that's really like now. I mean, you see all the videos and stuff going on in the UK of police, honestly, police showing up at people's door for looking at posts on the internet that are offensive against the common narrative. Like, people are in big trouble there, okay? And the US cannot head in that direction. We cannot let that. So if someone says something you don't like Jimmy Kimmel, you need to let him be able to say it. First of all, it's good for people to be able to show you who they really are. Second of all, even though it is harmful for someone with that much of an audience to be able to spew lies and false narratives against people, that causes people to be radicalized and think these crazy things and more extreme things than is what is actually reality, and that's dangerous. It does not mean we take away their right to speak. It means we start speaking louder. It means we stop being so passive. That means we stand up for our beliefs in ourselves. That's what I'm doing here on this channel. That's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm doing throughout my social media. I'm still me. I'm still emerging through the cracks of all this intensity and seriousness with love and light, and it's coming from a place of genuine, just passion and zeal that I feel. That's why I'm talking about this. But taking away somebody's voice is aggressive. It's forceful. It's not natural. It's controlling, and it shows that you have so many holes in your belief system that you couldn't even back it up against somebody that's proudly and loudly speaking out and saying things you don't like because you're upset. It's going to brainwash people, or it's going to convince people. It's going to convince people to believe things that you don't believe, and that makes you mad. Well, what are you going to do about it? Learn, obtain knowledge, learn to have solid arguments, learn to back up your beliefs and principles with hard facts. Because that's the thing, though. That's just the thing. Our belief system is operating in reality. And that's the difference between us and them. They're operating through a lens of delusion. And honestly, just showing these people the truth, telling them the truth, is going to make a big difference. That's what Charlie Kirk was trying to do. He did accomplish, and his young life, cut short, just sparked and lit a fire that went throughout the world, really, but our nation, and has emboldened people, even like myself, to proudly and loudly teach the truth and to share the truth in love, not in hate. And trust me, I could hate. I can hate. I have the capacity to hate. I've hated before. I am not a perfect person. I do feel a lot of anger. I do feel a lot of anger and rage at the celebration of taking away a man's life and his voice, and then just for that same party to then flip around and be so angry when the government, of course this is wrong, I disagree with it, was getting involved in taking away the free speech of somebody on the left, like Jimmy Kimmel. While I agree with them that they should not be taking away their freedom of speech, for you to get so mad about that while you were celebrating somebody else's freedom of speech getting taken away by them literally being assassinated, you have holes and holes in your logic, holes in your argument. So us as conservatives, Christians, people that are spiritual but you don't know exactly what you believe, it's okay. There is truth to be found, but you have to seek it. You have to seek it. Set your mind and focus on opening your mind and allowing yourself to learn the truth fully and thoroughly. And I'm telling you right now, setting that in your mind, Christian or not, just somebody setting their mind to that will make your eyes ready to see the knowledge that you need to learn. Instead of information overload that we're constantly getting on social media, you will become drawn to certain things. And pay attention to that feeling. You're interested in a book, pick it up and read it. You know what I mean? An article, read it. Read it, learn it, actually learn it. Back up your belief system with a spine. Back it up with solid truth, solid evidence and facts. Because I know you know that it's right, but you need to know why it's right. And if you can't explain to somebody why it's right, you're not going to change anybody's mind. You're not going to convince anything to change. You're just going to be a tool for further divisiveness. And honestly, the elites, they get off on that. That's all they want. They want us to stay peasants while they're the 1%ers. They're the elites. They're enjoying everything while we are making them money through our fighting and our battling. So what do we have to do? We have to end these battles, but unfortunately that means you have to go through it. And our strength, our sword is our pen. No, it's our voice. It's not violence. It's not burning down buildings. When we protest, we don't burn down buildings. We don't break into Foot Lockers and steal new Jordans. We don't, bust windows of cars and twerk on the top of it. We don't do that. Instead, we study. We study and we become better. We elevate ourselves. And you can do that through radical, miraculous love. And love is not passive. Okay, just round off this message. Love is not passive, because when I love you enough and I respect you enough. Even if I don't respect you, I love you enough to tell you the truth. Thank you for joining me today, everybody. By the way, I'm wearing an Omega Seamaster. Look at that. It's a quartz. It's okay. It's okay. Details. I love you all. Jesus Christ loves you. Even if you don't believe it, stay with me. Stick with me. We're not just talking about the Bible. We're talking about reality.